One of the confusing things about going through a PCI DSS engagement within an AWS environment is trying to understand when requirements apply to the AWS environment and when requirements apply outside of that. Requirement 11.1 is one of those when it asks you to inspect your wireless access points and to search for any unauthorized wireless access points. A lot of times people will say, well, our cardholder data environment is in AWS, and so we can't have any wireless access points within that environment, so this doesn't apply to us. But I'd like to challenge your thinking on that and get you to think about systems that connect to your AWS environment. What kind of controls have you put into place that would take out the administrative workstation or the IT person's laptop or the developers who have access to production and push code to production? What kind of controls have you put into place to segment those systems outside of your cardholder data environment? For a lot of people, they haven't gone to those links to do that. And so the physical area of where those workstations and laptops and those people who have those roles, who have access to your AWS environment, become very important. And so this requirement in 11.1 about someone putting in place a rogue access point that could potentially provide them access to the network that you're on becomes important still, even if your production environment is housed within AWS. And so evaluate this and think about your workstation or laptop that you're utilizing to connect to AWS. If you assumed that that system was compromised, how could your AWS environment be affected? That's a very important incident kind of scenario to walk through in order to look at the controls that you've put into place. And so if those systems reside on a network that has a rogue access point and a malicious individual is connecting to that network and monitoring your traffic and compromising your box, that can be one of the requirements that you should put into place, is to inspect your wireless access points and search for these rogue access points that could appear on your network. If you have any questions about working through this and establishing the scope of your PCI cardholder data environment, please reach out to us today. We'd be happy to help.